Nebraska took down Purdue yesterday in a battle defined by two completely different second halves. So in today's video, I rewatched that ball game and I've come up with 5 nuggets that we learned from Nebraska versus Purdue. So really quick, we have a lot to discuss in today's video. Hey, if you're happy about being 4-1 for the first time in a long time, hit that like button. And hey, if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer, make sure to subscribe. I post daily Nebraska football content, and I am not slowing down any day soon, so make sure to subscribe. You will not regret it if you're a diehard Husker fan. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over my nuggets from Nebraska versus Purdue, the Huskers versus the Boilermakers, some things that we learned. Number one, we need to have a real discussion about a potential running back battle. And yes, Dante Dowell's a great starter for the Huskers. I thought he played all right versus Purdue, nothing to write home about. That's kind of been the case the last couple weeks. I'm not talking about him today. I'm talking about Emmett Johnson and how he's performed time and time again, right? He averaged 12 yards a carry versus Northern Iowa. He averaged 9 yards a carry versus UTEP. And I was coming into this game just pounding the table saying, give Emmett Johnson an opportunity. He didn't get an opportunity in the first half. We scored 0 points. The second half rolls around. They put him in, and he shines. He gave this offense life. And officially, Emmett Johnson had 8 carries for 50 yards. He also had 35 receiving yards for the team. This guy's a stud. And it's not like this is new information for Matt Rhule. This isn't like it's new information for the coaching staff. He's played well in almost every single game this season when he got opportunities. So finally, he got an extended role, and he shined, and he led this team to a victory. This guy needs to play because he's dynamic, and he can do things in a multitude of ways. He can catch passes. He can, again, run out of the backfield. Again, he's dynamic. He is super fast, elusive. Okay, everything you look for from our Big Ten running back, he has it. So why hasn't he played up until now? Okay, I question some things that Matt Rhule does when it comes to personnel, and I'm going to tell you one thing. Emmett Johnson, there's no concerns about him off the field. He's a great student. He's a great person in terms of serving the community. He's a great young man. So it's not an off the field issue. Why hasn't he played? I don't know. And my guess would be that Matt Rhule is going to play him a lot more next week because he finally saw, hey, Emmett Johnson, he gives us the best opportunity to win. So this needs to be a running back battle. I still think Dante Dowell should get reps. Don't get me wrong. But Emmett Johnson should be that feature back. Really should be, because he's shined every single time he gets reps, and yesterday was no different. That's the first thing. That was just huge from that ball game. Second thing I want to talk about. This defense isn't getting enough love. It really played well yesterday versus Purdue. It bounced back in a big way. Now, we only gave up 10 points, and honestly, we only gave up 3 points. That touchdown came at the very end of the ball game. Talking about this defensive line, we had 5 sacks on the day. James Williams had 2 sacks. MJ Sherman had 1.5. I thought the defensive line in general played very well. Some depth pieces got in and played well. So it wasn't just the starters. A lot of these bench guys really shined for Nebraska. And one thing that was the story of the game for this defense, Purdue could not run the football. That was their bread and butter going into this. Nebraska only gave up 50 yards on the ground, and get this, only gave up 1.6 yards per carry. That's domination from our D-line, from our linebacker core. So in general, our defense played great in that department, but they also played well in the passing game. I thought Sear Wright stood up and played well. Malcolm Hartzog had his best game of the year. So in general, really dominant performance from the defense. They did their job after not doing their job versus Illinois. It was good to see that from the black shirts. Third storyline, we have some new starters that weren't really being talked about. Ja'Cory Barney's officially our wide receiver 3. At the start of the year, he was kind of coming in every now and then, but would leave the game. No, he's in almost every single snap. Janiron Bonner has officially been benched. He was the starter early on in the year. He's not anymore. So Ja'Cory's our wide receiver 3 now. Sear Wright, of course, started over Tommy Hill because Tommy Hill is dealing with an injury. Again, I told you guys he would be out a week ago. That's just how his injury works, right? It's going to be day-to-day, but that injury is going to linger. Might impact him the rest of the year, but Sear Wright played very well. Buda Wright's back. He did not start, but he got a lot of significant reps. I'd imagine he'll start going into Rutgers maybe after the bye. And then Carter Nelson getting a lot more reps. He's officially working with the second team. Jeremiah Charles officially working with the second team. So a couple adjustments there. And of course, Gunnar Gatula started. I thought he was okay, along with Henry Letowski there, some new offensive line starters. So, want to let you guys know about some new stars. Corey Barney, of course, played phenomenal. Like, this is why you guys watch the channel in the offseason, because I told you guys about Ja'Cory Barney in February. I told you guys about Ja'Cory Barney in the fall. Like, I made a video every single Sunday in the fall over my camp notes from that week. And every single week I tell you, I'm hearing Ja'Cory Barney's ball now. Before anybody told you that. Look what's happening. That's why you guys watch the channel, because Ja'Cory is playing very well. All right, fourth thing I want to talk about, special teams, man. Special teams. It's just rewatching the game, it just shows you how grossly incompetent everything about the situation is. We don't have a kicker, we don't have a long snapper, and we don't have coaches who make good decisions in the red zone. The fact that Matt Rhule continuously went back to the kicker in the first half shows you that he's a little bit to blame. A little bit. And Ed Foley's to blame, and we'll get to that, right? Of course, our special teams coach. But this is a huge, huge issue. And I've told you guys this throughout the offseason. I told you guys this in the first couple weeks. When you play good teams, Purdue's not a good team, but when you start to play good teams in the Big Ten, they will take advantage of your incompetency on special teams. Illinois did last week. Rutgers will next week. So I don't think we're going to figure it out all season long. So just stop kicking. It's bad. And it's not just a kicking issue. Again, it's a long-standing issue. It's an issue on punt returns. Our gunners are terrible. And it just showed once again on tape. Very frustrating stuff. And we deserve to be concerned about that. Fifth thing. Fix the penalties, man. Fix the darn penalties. Okay, when Matt Rhule was hired by Nebraska, there was one thing I expected him to do. It was fix a lot of these disciplinary issues that we had under Scott Frost, that we had under Mike Riley. And so far, Matt Rhule hasn't done that, unfortunately. He just hasn't. You know, that's the facts behind the situation. We had 11 penalties yesterday for 94 yards. Okay, if Matt Rhule is the disciplinary and fundamentals head coach we think he is, that should not be going on in year 2. All these false starts, these holding penalties, these PIs, and I understand the reffing crew was not great yesterday, but they were consistent. Okay, they were calling those tic-tacs for both teams. Purdue had it worse than us. They had more penalties and more yardage given up than us. So they were calling it both ways. At least the refs are consistent. We need to get better at that. Because again, when you play good teams in the Big Ten, they will take advantage every single day of the week. And it's really a battle of who's more mature and who has more discipline. We didn't really have too much discipline, but luckily Purdue did not either. So those are two things that we just really need to work on. And I feel like I'm a broken record because I told you guys this, after the Colorado game, and we still haven't fixed it. Will we ever fix it? Spoiler alert, I don't know. I don't think so at this point because they haven't been fixed so far. Why would they be fixed now? All right, guys, honestly, not the worst game versus Purdue. Looking back on the film, I thought our offense played pretty well. Again, I told you guys my offensive and defensive MVPs yesterday. So you're right on defense. On offense, it was EJ. Some honorable mentions are going to go out there. James Williams on defense. Again, John Bullock, I mentioned him on defense, some MVPs there. And then on offense, Ja'Cory Barney, Raiola, I thought was all right. That was about it there on the offense. So, all right, guys, those are my 5 nuggets from the Nebraska-Purdue game, rewatching it. Let me know down below. What are some nuggets after you've thought about the game for a day? Let me know down below in the comment section. And hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go have a good day, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.